happiest couples never have the same character. They just have the best understanding of their differences. And with that, I want to welcome you to Men in Home right here on Quest. My name is Michael Ray. We do know Men in Home is centered more on serious relationship, marriage, and family life issues. And on every lovely, intriguing edition, we always tend to talk about these issues and see how best we can resolve them and better way to live with them. That's what we always do on a lovely Saturday like today. It's always interesting for you to join us on award-winning Men in Home. 10 to 11 is what it is, and it's truly going to be enjoying. Just all you have to do, like we always insist, call your friends, your families. Well, tell your neighbors it's on. Well, if you have the number of your enemies who do well, and they've settled in with the issues, just tell them Mending Home is on. Welcome. It's another great time on radio. And you do know on Mending Home, we just want to talk the issues alone. We tend to have a guest, could be one, two, or we can join anyone, anywhere in the world just to talk about marriage issues, and today will be no different. And you also know on Mending Home, we also enjoy opening up the line so you can call and ask us those questions, or you can bring your contributions on what we're talking, and anytime you do so, we always recognize it and respect it. Welcome. It's another great time on radio. It's Mending Home with me, Michael Ray. Now, marriage indeed is the coming together of two different persons with totally two different characters in terms of different understanding of issues, different ways of understanding how things should be done or handled, not just in finance, but in children and relationship with other people. That is what marriage is all about. And for a marriage to succeed, they have to learn to live and with their differences and belief. But it's not an easy thing and should not be let to one person alone to handle. But how can couples truly blend with themselves? How can they truly understand themselves? How can they really let the other person sometimes let him have it or she have it, and in the end create a character that will be so defined about them? Because like I said earlier, how that will be will determine how marriage will last and be truly happy. And that's what we're having on the show today. And anyways, in case you don't know, this is what we should be, or really we will be discussing. We're talking about couples learning to live together with different characters and from different backgrounds. And that's what we're having on the show today. Like I said, the topic for today is couples learning to live together with different characters they do have and from different backgrounds. And that's what we're having. But what we're having that's the first on Mending Home is having, a husband and a wife join us together. And that's what we're doing. Because as much as we learn to talk about that, let's bring a personal touch to it. How does it really work out? Yeah. Having to leave two different persons of two different backgrounds, coming and learning to blend and be one. And that's what we're doing today on the show. Like I said, I have a husband and a wife joining in on the discussion. And anyways, I'm still a gentleman, irrespective of whether I'm married or not. And I'll have to start with the lady, and I'm talking of no other person but Mrs. Crystal and Onwangwa. I hope I'm right. Onwangwa. Yes, I hope I'm right on that. Well, good morning to you, madam.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, and also her husband, and I'm talking of no other person, but Mr. Mike Wangwa, also joining you with the discussion. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, and good morning, listeners.
Well, anyways, I know a whole lot of people say, Michael, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing what I should do and bring two couples to really teach us how to do it. And that's what we're having them together here. Well, okay. Well, anyways, I love starting with the lady first, but today I will start with the man just to give him that due respect and let him do the talking first. Now, a honest one, because this is the reason why we've had issues of divorce in recent time. When you just can't blend, it will never work. And that's the idea. But the question I want to ask, is it possible for couples of different background and sometimes different class to live together? Is it possible they can ever live together? Different background, different class.
Yeah, I think so. It is absolutely possible. And my own experience has shown that it is possible.
Okay.
You know, one thing you need to understand first is that opposites attract. You know, in basic science, they told us then that unlike charges attract, but like charges repel. So that means...
But that was in science.
Yes.
Well, my marriage is no science.
I'm coming.
Okay,
now,
go ahead.
It's you know, science is basic. Science is life. So it reflects in real life. What it means is that differences are not a disadvantage. Differences are supposed to be an advantage.
Okay.
So unlike charges, they attract each other. Now, the Bible says, if you read 1 Corinthians from 15 verse 41, it says that there is the glory of the sun, there is the glory of the moon.
Yeah.
Meaning the sun is different from the moon. And then it says there is the glory of the stars. It says, but each star, one star differs from another star in glory.
Okay.
So what you need to understand first is that difference is not your enemy. If you're different from me, it doesn't make you my enemy. And if I'm different from you, it does not make me your enemy.
Okay.
So what difference should do is that difference should complement. Because if you see somebody that thinks differently from you, what it only helps you do is that that person is helping you see a side of life that you cannot see for yourself. Okay. So when both of you come together with those two viewpoints of life that you have, it's going to make things better. All right, so that is it. In marriage, that's how it works. You need to realize that that person who sees things differently from you is not your enemy. You are a team coming together to achieve an excellent result. And once you see things that way, it's going to work. You're not going to have issues, you know. So it depends on your willingness to compromise. That is key.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let me come to you, madam, and ask you the same idea. Now, is it possible for couples of, totally different class, totally different background, understanding of issues to really live together? Is it really possible?
Yes, for me, I would say yes. Like you said, our differences should rather be complementary than causing differences within us. I'll take an example from the pen and the cover. The cover of a pen.
Yeah.
Now, they don't look alike. They are different, but it's complementary.
Of course.
When you put the cover of the pen on the pen, it complements the pen. So that is how we should be as couples.
Okay.
Your difference and my difference should not break us, but it should help us become better persons. Like you said, you are going to see life from my own lenses, and why I see life from your own lenses or from your own point of view.
Okay.
So our differences shouldn't break us. It should rather complement us and make us better couples.
Okay, but let me still remain with you, because when you said it should not break, that means there must be a compromise. And that's the idea of it, really complementing. Compromise seems to be the key in ensuring that that bond still remains. But let me ask you now, how can they come to compromise on issues differently?
Yeah, like the word compromise. Compromise speaks about giving concessions.
Okay.
So if there's a particular thing you like, or you think there's a particular way you like doing things, you should also see from the other person's point of view. It's about coming from your high horses or lowering your standard a bit to fit into mine. Why I try, in my own part, I can improve my standards while you lower your standards a bit. Then we'll meet on a common ground. Marriage is all about making compromises. Yes, that's
I remember with you on that concession compromise and ask, what are the issues of children? Because I know the way you grew up. was different from his, and how your mom used to handle you guys was different from the way his mom handled him. But when it comes to the issue of children, how do you deal? Now, let's talk about discipline for one. Okay. Did you grow up in a home where mommy and dad flogs?
Very well.
Well, but I doubt if your husband came from that kind of a home. You did also.
Oh, well, my dad, I remember my dad. Yeah, both of them at different points anyway.
Oh, okay. So do you share in the same belief of discipline of children? And how do you really compromise on that?
All right. I think before we got married, we spoke about certain things. Okay. But the truth is, marriage is more real than it is.
Than in talking.
Yes, than in talking. So I could remember one of those times. From time to time, we take time out as a couple to assess our marriage and see the points where we need to improve and all that. So I remember at some point, he told me, you are indulging this boy, my younger boy. You are indulging him and all that. So I said, okay, what can we do better? And I think with time, we've been able to have a standpoint. He's not always around. I'm around. The issues I can handle, I handle while he's away. And when he's not there, I can call him and say, oh, see, how do we do this? So we work together as a team, because it's not my child alone. It's for both of us. Okay. So there's a discipline that works for us, and I think that's what we go by.
Okay. So let me come to you, sir, and ask. She said different standard and discipline of the children, and you believe in the way she spoke means you really feel you should put a hard stand rather than a little, play with them a bit. I know how it is for men. For me, I also have a boy, and I feel is strong and is right. I put my hand hard on him. So how do you really strike a compromise on that?
Okay, I think what she was trying to say, let me just explain it well. We have two boys, but I felt the younger one, normally when you have last born now, there's a way, mommy, they pamper them. Yeah, so I felt at that point, the guy was being pampered. Okay. So that was why I said, no, let's put a stamp on this thing. Let's be a little more firm on him. Okay. Also, you have to be careful so that you don't bring up sibling rivalry. Yeah. A lot of parents unconsciously have done this. You have families where maybe the man takes a stand and he does something, and the woman comes and says, why are you treating him like this? Maybe sometimes right there in front of the children. So you are sending a wrong signal. The child already feels that daddy is wicked, mommy is good. You get so. That's what I was trying to say. And we didn't even discuss this in front of the children. So we took a common stand. And this is what couples must understand, irrespective of your background. However different your backgrounds may be, when you come together and you want to raise children, you need to take a common stand.
Common stand. Very important. So if the man scolds the child, don't go there in front of the child.
Why did you do this? No. You are sending a wrong message. Tomorrow that child might begin to disrespect that person and feel that you are the good person. So you people should take a common stand. If you feel that there is anything wrong at any point in the way you're bringing up the child, talk about it. But then come together so that you can have a common face. So I believe in fairness. I believe in firmness. I believe in loving the children. I don't believe in being hard all the time. Okay, but do what is right. Do as occasion demands. That's it.
Okay, so in doing that, because, if she takes a lighter stand and you take a firm stand, both of you will also do it irrespective of the two children. You do it any differently, as in, when it's time to discipline, both of you discipline. When it's time to love, you show the same love. Is that how to handle that?
Of course, that's how we handle it. So let me give you an instance. The child goes to meet her, and maybe the child does something wrong, and she spanks the child. And the child runs to me for validation or to report. And I spank the child again. You understand? So you have sent a signal that, hey, you don't do this with us. You don't play on the minds of your parents. Because children have a way of doing this thing. They manipulate you. So you need to also spell it out to them that, hey, we are a team. We are working together on this project. So don't play games.
So you think alike?
Oh, yes. We at least we do. We may not always agree, but right there in front of the kids, as far as it depends on
there. You agree to agree there, and you might have differences later to think about.
No, it's not really pretending, but I'm just saying at that point, at that point you're taking your stand.
Okay.
You know, for those kids to make
Okay.
sure that
It works that way.
it works. It
Okay,
works.
but let me remain with you, sir, and ask, what of the issue of finance? Because I know both of you reason finance differently. So when it comes to finance, how do you strike a compromise? How do you strike a balance on that?
Okay, talk about it. First, before we even got married, we discussed these things. You know, a lot of people don't pay attention to these things, but they are very, very important. Before you get married, you need to look at it. Is this person a frugal person? Is this person someone that spends carelessly? You will know before you get married. But for us, we've not really had issues because what we discuss goals. So this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to achieve. Who even spends money more? I don't know. Maybe you spend more money more. Okay.
Oh, she does.
She's the one
Okay.
that said it to. So I'm not the one that said it.
Well,
Okay, so
you won't be held responsible.
so she spends more, even though I don't really see it that way because I feel that sometimes I also spend on certain things, but we've not really had issues because we look at it that we have common goals. We are trying to achieve something, and we always talk about it. So we don't let it escalate, you know, to a point where things have gone bad before you now start getting angry. No, we communicate, so no issues.
Okay, madam, let me come with you on that also, and I'll ask, on the issue of finance, how do you guys strike a balance?
He already said it. We have plans.
Okay.
Which I'm aware of. He carries me along and
Okay.
I carry him along. So we have a family plan.
Okay.
We have a family budget for the month.
Okay.
If there's anything outside the budget, we look into it, we communicate about it. And
Okay.
I think there's been no hitch so far.
No hitch so far.
No hitch so far whatsoever.
Okay, and you feel even if you do more of the spending, I know he's a banker though, and well, sometimes bankers can really want to save the money. But irrespective of that, he doesn't feel oppressed that you spend more than he does.
No, not really. It's not my personal spending.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier on, he's not always around. So I manage the home.
Yeah.
So whatever money is sent or whatever money is spent to run the home.
Okay.
Not for personal frivolities.
Okay. But I remember with you knowing you are a woman, and let's talk about the issue of food. I know both of you came from two different backgrounds, love different meals differently, and sometimes even movies. So how do you strike a balance on food? Or would it be right if I haven't asked, which meal do you love the most?
I'm not particular about anything. Anything good goes.
Or for you?
Yeah.
So what of you?
Same.
Same. I doubt.
I don't have best anything.
But you enjoy eating which one the most?
Honestly, it depends
Rice
on
or
my.
swallow?
I wouldn't. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yes. So
Well, now I'm not seeing a compromise. I'm seeing
absolutely nothing. As in, I'm very unpredictable. So you may give me pounded yam and egusi today, and I'm very happy. Tomorrow when I come, give me the same thing, and I'm not impressed. Depends on my mood.
Oh, come on. So, but how do you deal with that? I'm happy both of you have an understanding with meal, but how do couples really deal with the issue of meal? Because we've seen that a lot. Some husbands will come and say, well, I'm tired of you giving me rice every time. And their best like might just be swallow, and that might be different from the one. So how do you create a balance there?
All right. I've always heard that the road to a man's heart is through his stomach, but it's not so for me. So I don't buy it. Although, yes, it's a popular
slogan.
Slogan. For me, when I got married, I had a task. And part of the task was to make my husband fat and flourishing.
Okay, well, I can see his flesh on that.
Exactly. So I had that target, like, this guy will eat until the point he will be fat.
You have failed woefully.
Yes. And I'm someone that enjoys cooking. Anyone close to me can attest to that. I enjoy cooking a lot. I can have varieties in the freezer. If 5 people come to my house, they can eat 5 different meals.
Wow.
And hence, so I'm that good.
No wonder he's always smiling. Well, go ahead now.
Now, upon getting married, I will go the extra miles. I can prepare pounded yam just to, those kind of new wife kind of this thing. But I see that he's not impressed. He can eat, but there's no extra. I'll be looking at his face. let me see that expression of satisfaction. Oh, you did this. But it just feels normal doing that. Sometimes you make those kind of food, he'll tell you, I ate late at the office, so I'm not sure I want to eat. Just keep it. You know, that kind of guy will just drain my morale. So I felt, okay, at this point, there's no point wasting time. Anything goes. If you ask him, he's the wrongest person to ask, what do you want to eat?
Okay.
He will tell you anything. I told him anything is not a kind of food. It's not a kind of food.
Yeah.
So for couples that there's a particular thing your spouse like, for me, like we said before now, marriage is all about compromise. If this is what will keep your marriage going, for me, do it for the person. Do it for your spouse, especially for the men.
Okay.
Go the extra mile, cook it. Now, technology and life has made it so easy for us. We can refrigerate. Go to the market. If it's soup, you can make it and store in the freezer. And you have less work to do. So it's all about understanding the person and servicing his needs or her needs. Marriage is all about...
Not always your way.
It's not all about your way most times. It's all about sacrifice and servicing the needs of others. So for me, food is not a big deal.
Okay. Now, how do you guys strike a balance when it comes to movies? Do you enjoy the same movies?
No.
No. Oh, now we're seeing a difference.
No, I'm not a movie person. I don't watch television. I hardly do. Like, I think for the past 4 months, I've not turned on my television in the sitting room. Yes, I'm that bad.
Okay.
But he can. As he has said it several times, let's go to the cinema to do what? Please, what to do what exactly? For him.
Okay, so how do you now strike a balance in that?
Okay,
that you need her to follow you watch a particular movie, and sometimes she might not be interested.
She doesn't want to watch now. We'll leave her. But actually, when growing up, I used to like TV a lot. I watched a lot of TV and all that. But life now, when you get into adulthood, things change. Okay, but
your love change.
She doesn't really watch. Unlike when you say women have issues with Telemundo and all those things.
Okay, so your meal have never got fault for that.
Nothing. We don't even know where those channels. We don't even put them on in our house. Maybe just news channels and all that. Then in those earlier years, I used to have issues with the children, cartoon and all that. They want to watch cartoon, you want to watch news.
Well, it happens to me too.
Yeah, so I began to warn them ahead of time. Say, I'm going to watch news by 10 o'clock. I start announcing from 9. Okay, but for her...
Big announcement,
we've not had issues, because she doesn't even watch TV. And like she said, for the past 4 to 5 months or so, we've not put on that TV in our house.
Well, hallelujah to you. Look as if, anyway, some men will say, God, I wish it was mine. Because their wives will drag it with them.
No, and sometimes he has Netflix on his phone and all that. I can just tell you, okay, there's this particular movie that is nice. Just try, come and sit, manage. Sometimes I'll just, okay, let's just, okay, it's nice.
Okay.
It's okay, rate it. I say it's just there. The hype is too much. It's just there.
Okay, let's leave that. But in case you're joining us, it's Mending Women. We're talking about couples learning to live together with different backgrounds and especially different characters, and that's what we're having. And indeed, we're having a frank one from a husband and wife right here together, and we're talking about the Wangos, and they're really having to help us through with the discussion. But let me remain with you now on the issue of relationship with other persons. Now, I know that is very, very important. How do you guys deal with the relationship when it comes to family? Any of you can have.
Okay. For us, interestingly, we've not had too much problem. I think, like we said, compromise, understanding is very, very important. Now, your in-laws or your family members, they need to respect boundaries.
Okay.
Into your home.
Boundaries both of you set together.
Yes, boundaries both of you set together. So you need to communicate well, and you need to be fair. We have cases where some, maybe the woman's family members are treated differently. And the man's, so those are the things that cause issues in homes, So you need to take your stand together. We believe that families should be supported, and we need to discuss it. Like for me, she's very close to my mother. she calls. Sometimes they discuss. They don't even bother to talk to me again. So they've been able to get on like that. Then I have a good relationship with the mother. Another thing, we pray for good in-laws. We pray for in-laws that will not interfere with marriage. So I can't remember the last time my mother came to our house. We'll even be begging her, please come and visit. She says she doesn't want to disturb anybody. So she's been more than a year, maybe close to 2 years. Okay, you guys went to visit her. They went to visit her because she has not come. So they don't interfere. We don't have a situation where somebody just comes with bag and badges on the door and say, we don't come. Come where? Like how? Where did you, what is happening?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. So you need to set those boundaries. I need to let family members know that, hey, this is how I regard my husband. This is how I regard my wife. It's the way you treat your spouse that will determine how they will treat your spouse. If you don't respect your husband in front of them, they won't respect him. The same thing with the wife.
Okay. Well, let me come back to you, madam. So how do you really, it's always been said the women are we might be the men, but if you don't give us permission, we have no power. So how do you really strike a balance on that, dealing with your own family and dealing with his?
It's not a big deal. I think he, like you rightly said, we have boundaries, as in, it was not stated, but it just happened. I don't know how it did.
Okay.
It wasn't stated to them that, Mama, don't come to my house or don't do this. No, we wouldn't say don't come.
Of course not. You can't.
But I think maybe the way we treat each other before them sends the message that, okay, this is my wife, you should treat her this way. This is my husband, you should treat him this way. So for us, it's not a big deal. My mother-in-law is my mom. My mom is his mom.
But let me ask you, when he wants to give money to his mom, do you do or he does, and how is that?
He does, and we're fine. And yeah, he does.
But he tells you how much sometimes?
It's standard.
Yes. There's a standard of the cash.
Yes, it's standard. Then if there's any other thing that she needs to do, she can call him, she can call me.
Okay.
Yeah, then we sort it out.
So irrespective, there's a way both of you perceive cash you feel is right for, maybe like gifts. We're already in the festive period, so at least a certain cash you should.
Yes, we'll decide on it. Okay, it's coming, Christmas is coming, the New Year is coming. So what do we give to mommy now? Okay, this bag of rice, let's share it into two. We do that without bias, without prejudice, and we do that, and they appreciate it. That's.
Okay, well, anyways, in case you were listening, like I said, it's still Mending Home right here, and we're having this discussion. But before we do, I know the calls have been coming since. I'll plead with you. Hold on, because we really want to really digest this, bring it to the way it should be bared. But in all of your discussion, I want to ask one very important question. Now, is it easy sometimes to let go of how or what you used to do and allow the other one? Just, madam.
No, it's not. The truth is that change is very difficult, or having to adapt is very, very difficult. It takes time, and sometimes it's not as easy as we say. It's not as easy as we say. Sometimes you might be
conflict, feel like, man, I'm being choked, I'm being oppressed.
You might feel like somebody's intruding into your space at some time, but over time, marriage is teamwork. So I think working as a team will make you give up your will sometimes. And it's not always convenient. It's not. But with time, over time, you learn to shed the old ways and embrace the new.
So what do you want to say to that?
Okay, it's just like playing a football team. When she said giving up your will. So sometimes you want to score a goal. You really want to score the goal, but maybe you're not rightly positioned. So you have to pass it to somebody else, to score the goal. Okay, so the person takes the glory and then you just pass the ball. But you see it as a teamwork. All right, so yeah, it's not easy, letting go. But when you see it like, I want to do this for the success of the team, then it's easier.
Okay, but let me ask, how do you let the other person begin to like what you like? It's another big one many couples are asking, because you sit down and, for example, like movies, like meals, sometimes you feel frustrated, like for me, in case you're watching a movie with your wife now and she prefers the Nigerian films, and for me, I wonder what they are doing. Honestly, I do. I'm like, come on, this is not it. And I prefer the foreign movies. and she would insist in watching. Sometimes I feel so like, oh my, I wish I have a second TV. But so how do you now begin to let the other person enjoy? Like when it comes to songs so different, how do you now let the other person begin to enjoy, begin to follow, begin to appreciate what you like?
Okay, let me just tell you this. I heard of this story where we had this lady that used to open drawers in the house. She wouldn't just lock them. So every time she opens drawers, she forgets to close them. And one of those days, her child had an accident, hit his head on the drawer, had to be rushed to the hospital, was injured badly. And so the husband was happy that finally this woman would learn her lesson. They brought the child back. The child was okay. For a while, she started closing drawers. And eventually, she went back to default setting and started opening drawers again. She just would not change. The man was frustrated. He was angry. So one day, he cried to God. He was praying seriously. And God said, you have two options. Number one, you can be frustrated all the days of your life. Or two, if she opens the drawers, you just close them. So the man closed drawers for all his life, and they had peace. Now, so you will have problems when you try to change anybody. I just want to sound it. Your spouse may never change. That's just the truth.
Wow.
You have to accept that reality. They may never change, okay? Because they are formed, their characters are formed. So just accept them. And I think when you talk about change, we see more of influence. The person begins to be influenced. But when the person discovers that you are trying to change them deliberately, the person will resist it. So don't try to change anybody forcefully.
Forcefully. So how do you now get them to like what you like?
It may not work. It may work. You just, like I said, influence. Just say, come and watch this thing with me. She might even be sleeping before the film ends.
Why do I have a feeling you are talking to somebody?
I'm feeling attacked.
Okay, well, as much as we have in that, we're enjoying it. In case you're joining us, it's Mending Home, and we're trying to see how we can mend and truly live together. And indeed, I'm having a couple together right here. First time I'm doing this because, as much as we're getting close to December and Christmas in itself, the issues will arise, that for sure. But how can we learn, in with our differences, still just learn to live together and also enjoy the beauty of being married? Because, sometimes your inability of not learning to do that leads to a whole lot of divorce, and that's what we're having in the most recent time. Wanting your will to exist on the other person. And like you said, it's not the best thing to do. But anyway, the best thing for us to do is we'll open up the lines pretty soon. The calls have been coming. I'll still play with you guys. Hold on a bit. I have some few more questions to ask. And after asking them, I'll definitely open up the lines. That I promise. But now, let's come to another major issue. Now, what of dressing? That's a turning one. How do you really appreciate what the other person puts on? Do you go out on your way to dress them the way you want them to dress? I'm just asking. Okay,
No,
madam.
you talk.
Now I'm thinking, okay, now I have to choose. Madam, you talk.
All right. Thank you very much for this.
Go. Why do I feel we're beginning to have this?
Talk. What do you want to say?
What will I not say?
Okay.
All right. For me, there's a particular way I like my husband looking like.
Okay.
Like, I want you to look yoppy.
Yeah.
Don't come and be looking like one papa or something.
Yeah.
So sometimes what I do, I found out that he resists change in that area. He has shown me that he resists change in that area. So what I did, at some point, I had to go shopping for him.
Wow.
I bought some clothes, bought some shoes. When we're going out, I'll tell him, maybe we'll iron a particular shirt or something. And I say, is that what you're wearing? You know, go follow me. He will not say, am I the one following you or you are the one following me? I say, we will not go out of this house wearing that. He say, okay, what do you want me to wear? I say, okay, wear this one. I say, is it so bad?
Yeah.
Put this. Hey, see how you're looking now like somebody that is young.
Okay.
So I've been able to, to effect the change in him.
On the dressing.
Yes, on the dressing. So I think if you don't like what you see, you can go all out to get what you want to see. So get it for the person and let the person put it on. Appreciate the person. Compliment the person when he puts it on.
So that will encourage them to always want to do so. So you, sir, let me come to you.
Okay, I think I'm the one that is not the dresser.
Okay.
So anything that I see, I just wear and I move on with my life. But she's more deliberate about those things. But one thing I don't like, and she knows, I frustrated her a lot. Yes, that's in the call and code. I wear the same clothes. Then both of you now come my husband and wife. I hate it with a passion. So she had tried so much. Let's sew the same clothes, sew the same material. In fact, during the dedication of one of our children, we had agreed that, those things they do. We wear native, wear native to church, then later we'll now wear t-shirt, the same t-shirt. I wore native. When it was time to wear t-shirt, I'm sure she's coping. For me, I see uniformity of heart as being more important than uniformity of clothes. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So difference in clothes is one of them. Right? Okay. Well, I feel it's only right to put up the lines now. I know a whole lot of persons will be laughing at home. Well, you need to laugh it out. But the truth about it is how we can learn to be together and do the things will truly determine how the marriage will succeed. Let's take those calls. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, nice having you join us. Can you do me a favor and just walk away from where your radio is?
I've done that.
Oh, good. Your name and where you calling from, sir?
I am Martins O from Abbey.
Oh, Martins O from Abbey. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I have enjoyed your something there.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
And I congratulate those two couples, if they are. I congratulate them for what they have done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They did it all that will fulfill a standard home.
Yeah.
That is just all I want to say. I don't have any comment on that.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. That's what we love about the show. We really bring it the way it should be and find solutions to most of the issues. But the numbers have not changed. It's 08022931931. Or you can also reach us on 08188888931. Any of those numbers and you'll be with us. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Nice having you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is King Alex and I'm calling from Musubi.
Oh, you're calling from Musubi. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't get your point, sir. Please just repeat it. Welcome to call.
Hello?
Thanks for having me on the show.
I didn't really get that. Okay, well, let's take this then. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, my children.
Mama G.
How are you?
I'm fine, man. Nice having you join us. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while.
Okay, well, go ahead, man.
I appreciate the husband and wife there.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Yes. I just want to add that when the two people, husband and wife, when they listen to each other, be you man, be you woman, listen to each other, take each other's opinions and views, then the home will go on smoothly. That's my contribution.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Well, coming from Mama G herself, that's the best way to go through then. Hello, good morning to you. Hello? Hello? Okay, well, just do well to call back, and when you do, we'll really love to have your take. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Nice having you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
And I want to, Tony Pucci calling from Kwale.
Tony Bucci all the way from Kwale. Go ahead, sir.
My admiration to the mother, the couple there.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe kudos to them.
Thank you, sir.
But I find it so difficult to believe that sometimes they feel monotonically Christian. You know when couples are distant apart, I mean one walking somewhere,
Yeah.
the relationship gets stronger than when you are in everyone take on.
I didn't get you. When you're walking apart, okay?
Yes, when one of them is not at home, work and come either by weekend or occasionally, if the bond of the relationship grows bigger and better.
Than when both of them.
Everyone second together. The tendency of monotony killing interest and nagging begins to come.
Okay.
Finding fault and all that. Getting irritated in the areas like you have talked about change.
Yeah.
In my own case, sometimes when there's no cash, and the woman who owns cash will find it difficult to squeeze that cash out of her. Because it will take strength. And most times, I don't know what I be able to do certain steps to so that they fix such issues and see how, when your husband did not bring the money financially, how do you cope?
Okay.
And these are issues I want us to
Okay.
talk about.
Well. Anyways, it's more of a question. He's asking. You walk, madam. You do walk.
Yeah, I do business.
Oh, you're the business one, and he's the worker.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes when the pay never come, if you make me put up for the pitching industry, when they never pay the salary, how far?
My money is his money, and his money is mine. Yes, that's how we have always done it.
Okay.
I don't have my personal cash. Say this one will not go. No. I've always seen it as a team. We're working towards a goal, either towards the children's school fees. The project we're having now is
But
towards.
wait, sorry to cut you. You know how much he earns?
Sure.
Okay.
So we're working
And
towards.
sorry, one more thing. You know when it comes?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well. And I plan my susu towards that. Sure, very important.
Okay, well, don't mind me. I just have to ask that. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Okay, well, anyways, let's take more calls because we love what we're having here. And hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us. Can you just walk away from where your radio is? Or better still, turn it down. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, it's better now. Oh, okay, well, I need to discontinue with that. Sorry, it's really giving me a whole lot of issues. But I would plead with you, anytime you call in, remember to turn down the volume of your radio set or just walk away from where it is so it doesn't truly interfere with the calls, and because that would be pretty bad. But let me take those calls because we love having them, and we're just talking about learning to live with our differences. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Thank God calling from Mugeli.
Oh, thank God. Well, thank God you're calling us. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed this program. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
thank God.
I don't have much to say on it. You know, falling in love it's not by finding the perfect person, but by making the imperfect person perfect. That's the reason I have to contribute.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank God we're happy you thank God on that issue. Hello, good morning to you. Okay, we seem to have lost that. But anyways, let's see if we have more of it and have a pure understanding of each other and how we can live together. That's what we're having in the show. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you join us.
I'm Rosemary calling from Mugeli.
Rosemary from Mugeli. Go ahead, Rosemary.
Yes, I want to commend your resource-specific couple day.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Madam, thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Spoken
much.
widely on marital issues.
Yeah.
I want to add by saying that two imperfect persons make a perfect marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, as if the both of them are willing to learn and compromise each other. But a situation when one is trying to complement and the other one is not, for instance, I have so many instances, like the madam said, you don't like your husband wearing this kind of particular clothes, and then you went out your way to get the clothes for him.
Yeah.
And he wore it because he told him, we're not going to follow me go out. And then he wore it.
Yeah.
And then he loved it because you love it, and then
Yeah.
he later saw that it's fine. But especially when you don't like a particular clothes on your spouse, and you went out your way to get this clothes, and then the man goes and tell you, I'm not going to wear them. I'm only sleeping. And you wait again your way. You got him another one, and these things are fine. And he comes and says, no, I'm not going to look like this young guy. No. I'm not going to wear that. That's frustrating. That's one.
But I have a solution to that.
No, hold on.
Okay,
I
go
have
ahead.
a lot of questions.
Okay.
And that's one.
Okay.
And then secondly, when you try to be a good daughter-in-law, and then the man tells you, "I always busy." When they say they're busy, but they tell you you're always busy. He doesn't come to your side. He doesn't visit your mother, and then the mother puts it like a hell on you, like your husband not the visit person, your husband not the any kind of things.
Yeah.
Well, how will you deal with such an issue in your marriage?